Well, she left that meeting and she dropped the suit. Called me up and said they're going to go all electric by 2035. Every other company has signed up to do the same thing. So we're working with the auto industry. We're also providing tax credits to help families buy energy-efficient appliances, whether it's your refrigerator or your coffee maker. We're going to put solar panels on your homes, weatherize your home, things that save an average, the experts save a minimum of $500 a year for the average family. And so we can accommodate that transition. I was in Massachusetts about a month ago on the site of the largest old coal plant in America. Guess what? It costs them too much money. They can't count. No one's building new coal plants because they can't rely on it, even if they have all the coal guaranteed for the rest of the existence of the plant. So it's going to become a wind generation. And all they're doing is going to save them a hell of a lot of money, and using the same transmission line they transmitted the coal-fired electric on. We're going to be shutting these plants down all across America and having wind and solar. I was just in Syracuse, New York, where I went to law school. And the company called Micron is investing $100 billion to manufacture chips, the biggest investment of its kind ever in American history. $100 billion. Before that, I was down a little further down in the middle of New York, and an outfit called IBM. They're investing in these chips for serious. Anyway, I won't go through them all, but look, the bottom line is we made a lot of progress over the last 20 months to build the economy from the bottom up and the middle out, instead of the trickle-down economics that failed us the last 40 years. And we just have to keep going, in my view, to bring down inflation while we keep the market strong. I invited the CEOs of the auto companies to the White House lawn, in the back, behind the White House. And I talked about automobiles, and they talked about electric vehicles. At the time, Amy Barr was Chairman Barr of General Motors, was suing the state of California. And by the way, New York Times media reports they call the report the Goldilocks report. I have my shotgun waiting for the wolf. Look, because of actions we've taken dealing with the petroleum reserve and other things, prices are coming down here at home. They're now down $1.22 since their peak this summer. Folks, our economy continues to grow and add jobs, even as gas prices continue to come down. But we got a lot more to do. But we also know folks are still struggling with inflation. It's our #1 priority. That's why, with Mike's help and Scott's help, I signed the Inflation Reduction Act to bring down the cost of everyday things that we talk about around the kitchen table. My dad used to say everybody needs just a little breathing room. I come from a family like many of you do, a good family, middle-class family. We weren't poor. My dad, we lived in a 3-bedroom split-level home in a development, 4 kids and a grandpop. And thin walls for my parents, but all kidding aside, everything that happened, was at the kitchen table. When the price of gas went up, we talked about it. It was a problem. It was a decision. Look, we're doing all this while we reduce the federal deficit. I hear from my friends in the other team that those big spending Democrats, well, I inherited a gigantic deficit. This year alone, under our leadership and the help of my colleagues in the Congress, guess what? We cut the federal deficit this one year by $1.4 trillion, more than any time in American history. Any time. We cut the federal deficit in half, while doing all this. And last year, we cut it by $350 billion.